Work and your business? Discover Simply Business Club, where connections turn into conversations. We're not your average networking group. At Simply Business Club, we offer conversational networking. Each meeting gives everyone 3 to 4 minutes to share their stories in open discussions filled with insights and even testimonials for work done. It's more than networking. It's building relationships that work for you. Join Simply Business Club today. Visit simplybusinessclub.co.uk or call 01843 627 001 to find out how you can be part of our vibrant business community. Simply Business Club, where businesses meet conversations.
You're listening to the Business Networking Show with Linda Cloak, John Turner and Jill Russell.
Good morning, everybody. It's John Turner on the Business Networking Show, and today's... Sorry, I missed out Lisa. Sorry.
Rude.
Absolutely rude. What a great start.
A couple of weeks and you forgot.
Well, you know, if you're going to go on holiday and abandon me.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm Linda Cloak.
You are Linda Cloak. Yeah, this is exactly it. No, sorry. I'll start that again. So I'm John Turner from the Business Networking Show. I'm your host, and today's co-host is Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Power. I am John's co-host.
Yes.
I'm glad you remembered.
Absolutely.
I've been away for a little while, but I'm back. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And our guest today, we've got Stuart Wilson. He's an SEO guru from Bottle Green Websites. We'll be talking all things SEO with him shortly. And also, he's an ambassador for Movember. So we'll be discussing that as well, and possibly one or two other things.
Thank you very much, John. Lisa, I'm delighted to be on here.
Thanks, Stuart. So we're going to start with some updates from Simply Business Club. So just to give you an update as where we're at. So this week we had Canterbury yesterday, which was a great meeting. Really, really lovely surroundings at the Abbots Barton Hotel. Always really great breakfast. And thanks to Aidan for hosting us there. It's always a really nice meeting. And tomorrow we've got Maidstone at the Arida Hotel. So looking forward to that one again. And on Friday we've got Deal at the Crown Inn at Finglesham. So, really looking forward to that one as well. There is also going to be a slight amendment to our timings in November for the Deal meeting. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. So it's really looking forward to starting to talk about a meeting that starts after the school run. Oh. Which is quite exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there that want to go networking, but they can't because they've got the kids. And
absolutely,
know. So we're listening to what people want.
And I would highly recommend that Deal meeting. It's a beautiful venue, and
really
the breakfast is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Well, we only ever go anywhere that's got a good breakfast.
Yes,
true.
My belly leads us, which is always a good thing. But no, right. So, Lisa,
for me, also just carrying on with the SBC updates for a little bit. Obviously, we're doing this wonderful show, which is a lot of fun, and we always tell our members it's great fun. We have a really packed schedule of people, I'm happy to say, who are coming onto the radio in the coming week and the coming weeks. But yeah, we're always looking for more. So if any of our members would like to join us in the studio, it's great fun. You don't have to be in the studio, although we love it if you are. You know, we also offer the ability to record a Zoom, and we're very glad that Stuart's here. He's here live.
I'm not sure I'm glad about that, to be fair.
I can almost touch him.
You said you wouldn't.
No, exactly. The restraining order says otherwise. But it's always lovely to have you on. It's a great platform for you to really kind of showcase your business in a longer format, so people get a really good idea of what it is that you do. So for our members out there, please let me know if you'd like to appear on the show. We're here every first and fourth week of the month, and so always looking for people. We're full till January. I say we're full, but you know, we don't mind having more than one person come on and chat about their business.
We are also talking about doing some special Christmas shows as well, and we'll probably record them on Zoom. Yeah. And then obviously do them because one of them is Christmas Eve and one of them is New Year's Eve, or something like that. Anyway, so it's I think there's a couple of shows that we won't be doing live. Let's say
people have social lives apparently.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They might not be able to come to the studio, but
I don't know. I think having a podcast before the bells, I think would make a lot of sense.
It'd certainly be interesting.
I think it would. Yeah. There might be a few drinks involved.
Yeah. Could be.
A couple.
Yeah, one or two.
Just a few.
Yeah. Absolutely. A few
Just,
share
you
bits.
know, live in the
What does this
discussion.
button do?
Exactly. Yeah.
Could be interested.
Yeah, we're sorry, listeners. Is that all? That's all I'd be saying. Is I'm really sorry, listeners.
I'm really sorry. I apologise. We won't do it again.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we will be doing a pre-record over the Christmas period. So again, I will be reaching out to our members to ask you if you'd like to get involved. So look out for that.
We're really good.
Please do come along because, as I say, it's always a great fun, a great discussion, and a really nice way to showcase your business in a bit of a longer format. So that's it for the business. In terms of my business, so the business of travel, thoughts are turning to winter. And,
what happens in winter, Lisa?
You know, people getting together with their family, and maybe wanting to go and see Santa.
Who's Santa, Lisa?
Trying to say everything I can without saying that word, but it's.
I may be growing my beard.
Yeah, John is currently sporting a rather impressive beard.
A rather good hobo look.
yeah. Claire's not so keen.
No, she hates it. She absolutely hates it.
She can't wait till it's over.
Yeah, I did say to her a few times, like, well, fine, I'll tell Layla then.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you want me to shave it off, I'll shave it off and then tell Layla. It's like,
Yeah, exactly. Tell the poor charities that I'm sorry we can't help you.
Yeah, we're not going to be helping you this year because we don't like the bristles.
That's it. Well, for the listeners out there, John is developing a very impressive big bushy beard.
Yeah.
It is truly impressive. And
it's getting there.
And no, it'll definitely get there when obviously you have to step in for the big man in a couple of events, because he is very busy that time of year. We all get busy that time of year, but
exactly that.
It is nice for him to have his his stand-ins, his right-hand men, to be able to go to some events. I
used a fake beard last year, and it just didn't work. It just didn't. I hated it. I've got to be honest. So that's why I thought I'll give it a go this year. I've never grown one this long before, so it's we'll give it a try and see what happens. So if anyone does need a Father Christmas, then give me a shout. I'd be quite happy to make use of it. I'm also looking for, and this is actually a thing that I am looking for, is a hairdresser that wants to help me go white. Because I've already got quite a lot of grey in there, but obviously that's not the right colour. It's the wrong shade. So I need the whole thing to be white. And obviously then in January we will be shaving off the beard in aid of Pilgrim's Hospice.
Wonderful.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Daft question, because you do still have quite a lot of dark hair when you're on your head and beard. Are you going to have to bleach it first?
Well, I don't know. That's why I was looking for some professional guidance.
I
suspect
say yes,
probably
you will have to bleach it.
I suspect probably, but that's the idea is to go the whole hog. So there will definitely be some chemical treatment involved. If there is a hairdresser out there that would like to support this this thing happening, then do let us know, because it'd be really great to, and we could give you a bit of promotion, obviously on the radio, and whilst we're doing it all for charity as well. So it'd be very good fun.
Fantastic. I love it. So yes, and my customers are looking a little bit towards the wintry climes. At this time of year, obviously, things like, especially with the kiddies, Lapland's really popular. The Christmas markets are very popular.
I love the one of that you sent the other day, the train.
Yeah, it's so good. I have a feeling it's going to be a bit spendy.
Yeah.
It's being so there is a new train service that is going from Italy out to Strasbourg, I believe it is, for the Christmas markets. Now, Strasbourg is one of the most famous Christmas markets in Europe. It's absolutely humongous, and it's very well renowned. Thousands and thousands of people go every year. Yeah, so it's going to be a very popular service, and I believe that what they've got on board in terms of what the train looks like. It's a really high end experience. So it's part of the journey. Train travel is actually becoming really popular, and I can see why. You get the chance to have the transport be a part of your holiday rather than just being stuck on a plane where, let's face it, you're not seeing anything, and you're kind of you spend the first 6 hours or so of your holiday just traveling and not seeing anything, whereas on a train, that obviously becomes very much part of the experience.
Absolutely.
So watch out for train travel next year, because I think it's going to be big business, I think.
Yeah.
And so,
absolutely.
And see a lot of big train services kind of springing up.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to now hand over to our guest, Stuart. Now, Stuart, as John's mentioned, is an SEO guru, let's call him that, and Bottle Green Websites is Stuart's business, and we will come to that later in the show. But Stuart's also an ambassador for Movember, which is coming up. And Stu, I know you've been involved with it for a little while now. So tell us a little bit about the history of Movember, how it kind of came about and what it focuses on.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, there's more than one person in this booth that's going to be kind of reshaping facial hair over the next kind of wee while coming up. But no, Movember actually started in 2003 in Australia. It was between two gentlemen who were trying to kind of basically start having a little bit of a laugh, a little bit of a joke, to say, right, what can we try and bring back that was a fashion sense at one point that now kind of is a little bit more of a faux pas. Mm-hmm. They discussed things like mullets, but they eventually landed on the mustache, kind of harking back to the classic 70s and 80s kind of TV and big screen heroes. Obviously, Tom Selleck. One of those as well. But being able to kind of do that, and they tried to raise some good for it as well. So they did it as a little bit of a charity laugh. Let's grow, let's see who we can get to, who's got the best one, who's got the worst one. Mm-hmm. And it really kind of just sprung up from there. And as these kind of like good ideas go, they were able to kind of grow the interest in this and have actually managed to turn it into a humongous kind of global event. Movember is currently functioning in about 20 countries globally.
Oh, right.
Which is fantastic.
I didn't realise it was that big. I knew it was big, but I didn't realise it was that big.
Yeah, certainly. And I should point out at this stage, it is very much about men's mental health. It is specifically for getting men to talk about their mental health, suicide prevention, as well as prostate and testicular cancer, fighting those for us as well. And I'm very pleased to say that I have been a Movember fundraiser for the past 15 years, and for the past 6 years I've been an official ambassador for the brand. Fantastic. Which means that I am able to kind of go to events, talk on behalf of Movember, because as you can imagine, a little bit like Santa in December, Movember get very, very busy at this time of year. So they ask guys like myself and girls, sorry, I should say that, we definitely have a lot of Mo sisters who are out there as well, being able to go out and talk to different companies or talk at business groups or anything like that, to just kind of raise awareness, to let them know what it is we are raising money for and the goods that Movember is bringing to the wider community. Fantastic.
So what was your personal motivation in the first place, Stu? How did you get involved?
Really, pretty close to the actual kind of origins of Movember itself. I was at Stirling University and I was part of the water polo team. Mm-hmm. And there was a group of guys in there that had heard of this thing called Movember. You're growing the mustaches. Let's see what we can do. And we all just kind of ended up kind of throwing £10 in the pot just for a little bit of fun. Made sure the money went to the right place. And from there, a few of us kind of continued it on. And it's just something I've always been very passionate about. I've got a lot of friends in Movember who have got some very inspirational stories and some very heartfelt stories as well about how they got involved or their personal involvement in the charity. I've been very, very lucky with that side of things, but it's about looking to the wider male community to see what we can do to get men talking and get men really thinking about their health in general.
Yeah. I think it highlights something that we know to be true, but it's a fact that, men are dying too young from largely preventable causes. And why do you think it is that men are, and I think this is changing, but why do you think it is that men historically have just been maybe reluctant to talk about both their physical health and their mental health? Yes,
I think so. If I can go back to your point there, that on average, a man dies 4.5 years younger than a woman. In the UK, Movember has kind of reported back to us that over 130,000 men die prematurely every year. Now, that's roughly 15 deaths per hour. And I think there has always been a little bit of the masculine, the tough, kind of a phrase that I now hate of "man up, princess." This is why men are not going to
We don't talk, do we?
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
We don't talk.
How are you doing, John? Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's always the stock answer.
And then you immediately kind of bowl onto football or something like that. Whereas, and Lisa, you're absolutely correct that we are getting a lot better, but and I think the younger generations coming up are 100%. Not frightened or certainly not ashamed to say, you know what, right now I'm struggling, or I'm not feeling well.
I got taught something, or someone said something to me not too long ago, and it was really, really powerful, and it was ask twice. So you ask someone if they're okay, and they obviously the stock answer is always, oh yeah, I'm fine, it's all good, and then it's like, no, really, how are you? And it's that second time is normally when someone might sort of, you'll generally get an answer from them that is a bit more they might be fine, things might be okay in that moment. That's brilliant, but there might be something in what they say, and then all of a sudden you think, if you want to talk, it's okay. And then obviously then you start a conversation. But it was really powerful when someone said that to me. I was like, ask twice, and it was like, oh yeah, that's a fair point, because the first time you can just brush it off. Yeah,
and I think we have all been guilty of that, men and women, being out there. But it is something that it's not a bad thing to check in on your friends, to pick up the phone. It can be, do you want to come for a walk, pal? Or, I'm up to something this afternoon. Are you interested? Doesn't always have to be a pint. It can obviously be a coffee as well for it. But being able to just kind of take somebody out of a situation, get them into a safer space with someone that they know, that they trust, that they get on well with, you can be amazed at how somebody can open up as well. But at the end of the day, I would always encourage any of our listeners, it's not your job to be a mental health practitioner. There are always kind of far more professional lines that you can kind of walk through and talk somebody with. They will obviously help support you with your friend, but even just checking in can make such a difference. Certainly, 3 out of every kind of 4 suicides in the UK are male. Which is a striking statistic, unfortunately.
100%. I do think women have historically always leaned on their network, and we are very open in the way, not always, but I think it's quite stark, the contrast sometimes, because you, as a woman, I know that you have all of these avenues that you can explore, and this built-in community, and we just talk. We talk about everything. Not to say that's perfect, but I think there are ways that, as you mentioned, you can reach out and support without expecting anything in return, without expecting an answer, just saying, I'm here, and it being as simple as that.
Absolutely.
Because I think people struggle from both sexes with knowing what to say to people when they're, when they sense that they might be feeling down.
How do you open up that conversation?
Exactly. Yeah. How do we make it easy? How do we kind of, I suppose, encourage the people that are worried about someone to reach out in a way that is comfortable for them and comfortable for the person that they're reaching out to?
Yes, of course, every case is different.
Of course.
You will know that person better. Is it best to check in on them on a Tuesday night because that's not the night that they've got football, or that's not the night that they've need to take their kid to dance class or something like that? But you also don't want to go down the lines of going, all right, I've set an alarm every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. I must text my friend to find out how they're doing. There's nothing wrong with the spontaneity of it. Spontaneity. Yeah, that's not a word.
Yeah. If it's having that sense of, I haven't heard from them for a couple of days. If it's unusual, if it's or if you just sense it sometimes, don't be afraid to just say hi, and that can make all the difference, I think.
And it really can. Yeah. As we said earlier, men are getting a heck of a lot better at expressing their feelings, at being out there and talking, and it's only a positive thing going forward. We're, I suppose, kind of still looking towards more the stubborner ages, which is myself and John, and probably up. The younger generation are a heck of a lot better, which is such a positive turn as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, totally agree.
Definitely. So, in terms of how you can get more people involved, what can people do besides growing an impressive tash?
Thank you. It will be an impressive tash. Yours is coming along nicely as well, Lisa.
In all fairness, Lisa, have you ever seen it?
I don't think I've seen pictures of it. I've not experienced the full.
Stuart does look like
Wilson
an extremely good version of Borat.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah, no,
Very nice.
Which is a dubious honour, but you know.
Yeah, you can phrase that as however you want. It's like it is what it is. He looks like Borat.
Well, that's I naturally look like Sacha Baron Cohen anyway, but chuck on a white suit with a tash. I did not see
it's an amazing handlebar moustache.
It is, yeah. And I tend to go clean shaven at the start of the month and grow throughout the month, and kind of obviously shave around about it as well. But no, normally by day 18, 20, it's pretty much there, which is pretty decent. But getting involved, yes, I do encourage people to obviously go to the Movember UK website. There's a lot more information, a lot of the stats, and a lot more of the information about how your support and how your financial donations are being used across the platform. You can sign up. A lot of people seem to do it within a sports team. A lot of people do it within their work. I know people as simple as kind of they've got a tin on their desk at work, and they ask people, look, can you put your change from the coffee in there? That works fantastically well. Set yourself up as teams. You can then set yourself up with goals and challenges. And a lot of it is about the camaraderie. It is the banter. It is all coming together. And yeah, if you can't grow a great mustache, don't worry about it.
I think that's part of it.
That's it.
I think that is part of it. I've seen some people who have been trying it, and they're okay with being ridiculed because they just can't. Yeah. And it and actually, do you know what? Fair play to them for actually, because they probably knew when they started they were unlikely to be able to grow a proper decent one within the month.
And I think that's actually a bigger hats off to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it'd be so easy to go, I'm not doing it. I'll just give you 20
I'm not doing it. I don't want to look stupid.
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
Actually, it's okay to look stupid. It's like, and actually, it doesn't look stupid. Yeah. It's you're doing an amazing thing. You are. So yeah. As you say, hats off to them.
And I think the movement's kind of gained enough ground now that people are like, oh, okay, and it is quite funny to see.
Exactly, and there is some banter. There is some banter around it, and people who have got really good ones, that's brilliant. People who haven't got such great ones, then obviously, there's banter from all different places that make it just add a little bit of fun to it.
Yeah, I agree.
I've genuinely had situations where I've been out during Movember with a mustache on, and people have come up to me and said, is that for Movember? And they've handed money over to me.
Amazing.
Obviously under the understanding that I'm going to donate it, not just as a well done, here's a Christmas. For that. But it does have a lot of recognition out there. It is fantastic. I don't think hipsters out there have really helped us, because there's a lot of people just out there with mustaches now.
Just like the look.
It is still a strong look, though. It truly is. But no, it is a wonderful thing to be part of. I've been involved in Movember, obviously at a very minor point at the start, but in the last 6 years, I have made lifelong friends, being part of the ambassadors. A couple of weeks ago, I was up in London for the Movember training event. It was fantastic, led by the team in the office up in London, and they are so inspirational. They are absolutely fantastic at giving us a kind of good directives of how we can get the best out of us, and also kind of letting us know what positivity us and anyone that donates is kind of contributing to out there.
I guess that's maybe something that people don't think about, the community that's grown from the ambassadors themselves and how enriching that must be, and actually to be a part of it.
Oh, very much so, yeah. And then you end up becoming friends of friends as well, because you attend an event, because you go and support somebody. For example, and shameless plug coming up here, I will be hosting a charity pub quiz at the Black Griffin on the 23rd of November, which is a Sunday at 6 o'clock.
That's on Canterbury High Street, isn't it?
That is on Canterbury High Street, yes, thank you very much. So I do obviously encourage you and anyone to come together, put together a team.
Yep. Remind us of the date there again.
It was the 23rd of November. It is a Sunday, and it'll be at 6 o'clock. So the shops will all be shut, so it's time to go to the pub.
Absolutely.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. What else would you do?
We will also be sharing Stuart's progress over the month as well. So anyone who wants to support the Mo throughout the month, obviously there will be the links in there to donate to Stuart's efforts as well. So yeah, obviously what you're doing, mate, is brilliant, and it's an amazing cause.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Final question for me. So Movember isn't just for November. So what, if anything, what's your message? What would you want people to kind of take away from the campaign?
I think it is always about that it is okay to speak. Mm-hmm. It is important to get yourself checked out. If you're not feeling well, you are always going to know yourself well, and look in on your wider community as well. Yeah. Be able to kind of check in on a friend, or if even from an extended community, if you know that somebody, a friend's brother or their father is going through something, it's tough on the extended family as well. Reaching out to them and speaking to them is such an important thing. Of course, Movember does fundraise throughout the year. It is just more the moustache side of things as well. Certainly, I've done birthday fundraising at the start of March a couple of times as well. But it is nice to kind of have people knowing and asking, "Oh, you're doing Movember again this year?" Yeah. Which is brilliant.
Yeah, it becomes a regular thing in the diary, and it's nice to kind of have that yearly thing. There's almost an expectation there now, and people getting ready to support you, which is lovely.
Well, that's it, and it's the shock on people's face as well, because normally I do have a beard most of the year. Yeah. So then when it gets totally shaved off at the start of the month, it is a bit shock. My wife doesn't like it, but then she doesn't like me with a beard either. So
okay, fair.
I'm seeing a pattern here.
I've heard she just doesn't like you.
Yeah, I think that's more accurate. Actually.
Yeah, that's fair. But in all fairness, I haven't brought this one out for a while. But when you don't have any facial hair, you do look a lot like Where's Wally?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I do need the stripy jumper.
Yeah, you should get the stripy red and white stripy jumper, because it's like where's Stuart?
I have a really nice pair of round glasses that I do not wear because of that. Thank you. You've given me a complex.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Absolutely not.
I'm looking forward to the spectacle now. Can't wait. Oh, thank you so much, Stu. We will go to a song break now, and I think this one may be associated with Stuart. I think the association may become clear, having heard his wonderful Scottish brogue.
His dulcet tones. I think these two fellas sing a song, and they're from your neck of the woods, aren't they, Stu?
They are, yes, certainly. I have been told that I look like one of them, and considering they're twins, I'm not quite sure how I look like one of them. But yes, it is Craig and Charlie Reid, the Proclaimers.
Absolutely.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's havering to you. But I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm working, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And when the money comes in for the work I do, I'll pass almost every penny on to you. When I come home, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home to you. And if I drove, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's growing over you. But I would walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home with you. I'm gonna be the man
you just launched a new business and need a website that makes an impact without breaking the bank? We've got you covered at Simply Design UK. We specialise in creating affordable, professional websites designed specifically for startups and small businesses just like yours. Using WordPress, we deliver sleek, user-friendly sites that not only look great, but are also easy to manage and perfectly built for your future growth. Fast, affordable, designed for success. Let's bring your business to life online. Visit www.simplydesignuk.co.uk or call 01843 627 01 today. Simply Design UK big businesses start with a great website. Want to grow your business and position yourself as an industry expert?
Introducing SBC Magazine, the digital magazine packed with expert advice, insider tips, and valuable content written by industry professionals like you.
By writing an advertorial, you can showcase your knowledge, share insights on industry challenges, and highlight why your services are the solution. It's not just an ad, it's a powerful way to connect with potential clients and build trust.
Educate, engage, and elevate your business.
A product brought to you by Simply Business Club. Check out our recent editions on the Simply Business Club website. SBC Magazine, where experts shine and businesses grow.
Okay, so we've got played some adverts there after the Proclaimers. So obviously Stuart's favourite band. Have you actually met them?
Oh, yeah. I've met the Proclaimers a good couple of times. I've been very lucky. I must have seen them in concert at least 20 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're from your hometown?
They are from my neck of the woods, yeah. I think officially they're from a place in Fife called Achtermukti. There's an easy one for you to say. But they are massive Hibs fans, which is the football team that I support, and their anthem off their 1989 album Sunshine on Leaf is... played when Hibs win a big game. Or
I've got to say that is quite sensational, being part of that, seeing that, and I did go up there a few. Was it last season?
A couple of seasons ago.
And I went there for the Rangers and the Celtic game, and it was quite incredible. The being part of that. So
yeah, certainly we beat Celtic 4-2 that night, didn't we?
Did, yeah.
And we got to hear Sunshine and Leaf at the end, and stadium erupts with that, and the scarves are in the air.
Right.
And if any of your listeners are interested, I do encourage you to go onto YouTube and see the 2016 Scottish Cup final version of that. 22,000 Hibs fans inside Hampden Park.
It is spine-tingling.
It must be very moving.
It was, yeah. I should also point out it was also the first dance at my wedding. But it's more the Hibs thing. I got to pick one thing that day, and that was it.
If you're going to get one thing, that's the thing. Right?
That's one thing that you more than you deserve to be.
Probably was.
Yeah.
The rest of it was just a lovely surprise.
Absolutely. Okay, so we're going to do some shout-outs. So the first one I've got is from Thanet Premier Business Group, which are a friendly, supportive networking meeting. They meet on a Wednesday morning at 6:30 at Quex Barn in Birchington. That's a weekly meeting. So if you want to come along to that one, the first visit is free. So if you want to come along to that one, give me a shout and we can get you hooked up with them. And we've got some other shout outs. So some from our SBC members. Justin from DeGiorgio Properties, easy for me to say, offering affordable building solutions across Kent. So thanks, Justin, for that. Chad has put out there Beyond Beauty with Miyamura, where beauty products become a lifestyle at affordable prices. And I have seen some of these products in action, so they are really quite cool. So do give Chad a shout on that. Ian from Kent Workwear, winter's coming, so pop away the mankinis and think about your winter clothing. There's still offers on bundles for £75, so you get 3 items for £75, including the jacket.
Was he listening to the Borat thing?
I think he must have been. Yeah, possibly.
I think there's a potential tie-in there, surely.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, getting Stuart to wear a branded mankini.
Oh, gosh.
I think that could happen.
I don't think we should be giving Ian a shout-out because he is on holiday right now.
He is on holiday, that is true, to be fair.
We should have banned him by now. Yeah, what's he doing in the group? He should be...
Well, yeah, this is it. He never stops working. One thing that I heard from him this morning, apparently he's actually made a sale of T-shirts whilst he's been away.
No, that doesn't shock me whatsoever. No. That's not a no way. That's out of course.
I know, absolutely, yeah, I know that. When he used to run WBS copies and printers, he actually fixed a printer for the hospital when he was on holiday a couple of years ago, because whilst their son had I think it was a bee sting or something, and so they went in there to sort that out. And whilst they were there, the printer was having a problem, and he went around and fixed it. And they were going to get in touch about getting him a printer.
Incredible.
I was like, well, So yeah, no, he never turns off. So I think it's fair enough. But also, Claire has put out a post. She said, "Oh my God, it's all out on the radio now." I'm guessing she's talking about the beard and the need for Mr. Claus to come out and help where needed. So yeah, there's that one. And Chad has also given us a shout out to a few places that might be able to help with the beard. So yeah, I'll maybe give them a shout. We've got some other ones from the Synergy Group. So Chris Henry from Chris Henry Photography, differentiating people and businesses with emotionally evocative images. Some interesting words there. Thanks, Chris. Trying to read that out without looking at it first. So that was good. But no, Chris is brilliant. I've seen some of his work, so yeah, do give him a shout. And we've got Mark Bradesford at Yomo Limited, independent, clear and transparent advice on later life lending, helping over 55s enjoy their retirement. So yeah, thanks for that, Mark. Linda Cloak from Synergy. So they've got Whitstable Morning, which is scheduled to the last Tuesday of each month. So that's from next month. So if you want to get there, then it's held at the Riverside Church, which starts at 10:30. So get along to that one. And we've got Steph from Kent Connections. So Pint and Prosecco, which is their next event, is Thursday the 20th of November, 6:30 at the Ship and Trades, St Mary's Island in Chatham. So tickets are available on NetHub or via the website kentconnections.co.uk. So thanks for that, Steph. Next up, we've got Matt Bridger. So the Inner Circle Networking, next event is on the 13th of November at 6 p.m. at Papa Bianco in Faversham. Tickets are available via the website eaglestoneevents.com. Okay, so that was that. Yep, that's all we've got. So yeah. So Lisa, what's next?
So we're going to chat to Stuart about his actual business, his day job.
I've not put you off yet chatting to me. That's good to know.
No. No. We've got a little bit low to get. There's still time, Stuart.
Oh, excellent.
So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the day job. So as we mentioned, you are our SEO, our go-to for SEO. I think it's fair to say at SBC. So tell us a little bit about Bottle Green Websites. How did you get started? And yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Bottle Green Websites started about 14, 15 years ago now with my business partner, Alan, when I was still based up in Edinburgh. We were both working for a much larger communications firm at the time. I won't say the name, but their name rhymes with a small little alien that wanted to go home. But so phone in for the answer to that one, listeners.
Exactly.
But yeah, with that, we really enjoyed working together, enjoyed building websites, and of course enjoyed the management of these. However, we were not the biggest fans of kind of how the bigger business was getting run and the handling and management of clients. So we decided to break away and start ourselves. And thankfully, we never really looked back. Bottle Green Websites looks after about 80 clients up and down the country. Most of these clients are small to medium-sized businesses who are basically looking to get a better presence and higher rankings on the search engines.
So is it just SEO or are there other elements to the service typically?
A little. Most of it is SEO, but we always call the service SEO and website management because there will be points where we have to upgrade plugins, something that's always very important, especially if you are working on an open source site, something like, say, for example, WordPress. If your site is not being updated for plugins or for whatever version of the system that you're actually on, you're far more susceptible to security issues. It tends not to be if somebody's kind of hacked your website or got in. It's not because they've guessed your password. It tends to be because you have not updated a version of a plugin there. Because as soon as a plugin version is updated, that tends to mean that a previous version is no longer being looked after and supported by the company that supplies it itself. They are far more focused on the more up-to-date version, of course, with that. And so being able to do stuff like that, there's points that we do a lot of content writing as well, which again, technically isn't SEO, but we always drew it with an SEO mindset as well. It is always great to put content out there. Content is still very much king in the eyes of Google, and other search engines are available. But with that, you do also need to have a think of the mindset of your potential customers. What terms are they using? What is it they're looking for? And what should you be writing about to be able to attract them to your website? In a sad state of affairs, a lot of times you're writing content not necessarily for people to sit down and read it. You're writing content for search engines to acknowledge that you are producing good quality content, that's not always AI, and that is of value to users out there. This will help any search engine to understand your authorship and authority online, and there is where you get the rewards for getting better rankings online.
You've mentioned AI there, and there's obviously it's got a hot topic at the moment, particularly around how it's changing search functionality. How have you seen it change the landscape for you so far?
It has changed quite a lot dramatically, and I think, to be fair, a lot of search guys like myself and a lot of much bigger companies and search engines have kind of been caught with their pants down a little bit on it. It did kind of rumble in from nowhere, but AI is always generating, it's always learning, it's always understanding. It is gathering that information from online, so it still was working very much in partnership with search engines. But every time somebody puts in a search, or every time somebody puts in a bit of content, something like that, it's gathering that, it's learning that, it's understanding it. I've recently seen a couple of search engines really kind of pull their boots up to start to punish websites that have got content that is purely AI generated. And I think we've all been there. We've all read a blog online, and you kind of sit there and think, nobody's actually written this.
No.
Where has this been produced from? Now, that's not to say that AI can't be your friend, to get recommendations, to get information from these kind of tools are always a bit of an adapt or die. You do need to work with them. But I still kind of describe AI right now as something that, if you're sitting there wanting a kid to write an essay about the four main things of the Industrial Revolution or something like that, it'll produce that absolutely perfectly. The problem is for the classroom is there could also be 5 or 6 other kids that have just gone onto AI and asked it to produce that. And I think kind of teachers are getting wise, much like search engines as well. You could sit there and say, oh, I am a plumber in Aberdeen, write me something about why it's good to get your boiler serviced, something like that. But you don't know if there is a plumber in Newcastle who's also done that, and all that's changing is the location and the business name. There has been more than a few examples out there of websites being punished for that kind of content being present on it, and also having pages de-indexed as well. So use with caution, but you can use it.
I will say use with some prior knowledge. It's not useful for a tool, or it's dangerous as a tool ultimately if you're not just using it to aid you, rather than going into it knowing absolutely nothing and just blindly saying, well, this must be right. You know, it's AI. I think the use of the word tool is really important. It's a tool. It supports you. It should sit underneath your own knowledge and your own expertise.
There was one story that I heard, and you may well have heard me say this before, and it was there was a reporter from a newspaper in America, and they used ChatGPT, or one of them, search engine bots, to do some research on a person who was in the UN,
right? And
they printed it verbatim.
Oh, okay.
And some of the information in there was horrifically wrong.
Oh God!
And it was they got fired because they didn't read it through. Some of it was not right, because you've got to remember that Google will tell you it's night and it's day at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. So
that. Google will tell you the right and the wrong thing without any problem at all, because all it's doing is trawling through the records it's got to tell you what's what, and so they think they're right on every count. So you've got to be careful about what's right and fact check things, and that if you're gonna refer to something like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, us as humans, we tend to be very, very lazy.
Yeah.
I had a fantastic discussion with the breakfast table yesterday with members of the SBC Canterbury. And we all kind of came to the conclusion that, yes, we can use these things, but there's far too many out there that are too easy to just kind of say, oh, yeah, this is it. This is solving all my problems. Here's the answer to absolutely everything. I'm going to go two-footed in on everything. It is brilliant. Yeah. As opposed to picking and choosing when you can use it. Yes, having something like AI to have a little bit of an auto respond for you, that is absolutely fine. Having it writing everything for you or trying to manage your diary when you also need to be able to spare the time to teach it, to make it understand, but it's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be as good as someone who's, say, not acknowledged and knowledgeable on a certain topic, writing a bit of content versus, oh, you know what, I can chuck this out there. But we've also got a friend who is involved in like health and safety, and he kind of put some information into ChatGPT, I think it was, and was able to kind of ask it to produce a health and safety report. Yep. And to, not to his shock, but to his surprise, it was very accurate. It wasn't as wildly kind of wrong as you would have thought it would be, and with a little bit of care and attention, it would almost have been a perfect document. Yep. But
that's the point. That's the point there.
Yes.
That is the exact point. Is a little bit of care and attention. It's reading through it. It's amending the things that are maybe slightly off or anything like that. It's there to use as a tool to aid, not to do.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've got a couple of questions. So, so one of them, well, it's not. This one isn't a question. This is more of an observation. The highest search thing on Bing.
Oh, is what's wrong with Google?
Is Google, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, so obviously, you know, Google are the overlords when it comes to this. However, saying that, so on to my point too, have you seen the advert recently from DuckDuckGo? Yeah,
where they talk about having no, basically, cookies and we don't sell your data.
Yeah, like Google do.
Like Google do, yeah.
That's dangerous, isn't it?
Well, if they actually say like Google do, it's because Google have been caught, so they can't. It's not being kind of sued for libel or slander.
Yeah, if it's true.
Maybe from that point of view, but from the point of view that they are as big as Google are, do you really take on that fight?
I certainly wouldn't know, but. No, it is interesting. There was a point a couple of years ago that Google went down for a Friday afternoon, and like you said, I think the Bing became the top search engine in the world because that's the one that tends to come with
the hardware and
that's it exactly. It comes with your Windows computer, and the top search was "What's wrong with Google?" Which was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I think people are getting a lot savvier when it comes to understanding how search engines or companies are using their data. A lot of the time, it can be embraced if you want more tailored results that are far more to your interests or to what pages you tend to look at. Then a lot of people embrace that. You also have a lot of people now who are not as happy with the amount of, say, paid leads at the top of any page. These have jumped up from about 3 to 5 to 6 very recently, and people are a lot more savvy regarding that. They know it's like, well, this is just an eBay-style bidding war at the top of a page. I'm going to scroll down to the organic listings and click through to someone from there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. And how would you advise somebody to kind of get started if they're just like right, I've got my website or I've got my business idea, what are the next steps? And is that something you kind of offer as part of your services? Is that initial, consultation guide?
Yeah, absolutely. I work with a couple of great website developers, and I always kind of describe a website without SEO as a little bit like you spent all morning decorating your shop window, showing off your best products, really doing something to entice your customers in, and then you're pulling the shutters down.
Yeah.
No one can see it without SEO, and I do truly believe that. For getting started, yes, it is something that we offer. We are able to sit down and offer a review, and from there, the biggest thing I would always say is keyword research. Anybody can have a guess at what your best terms are. And I know the amount of business people that I speak to that are very knowledgeable. They are brilliant at what they do and their business. But they could be using industry terms that you and I, if we're looking for that product or that service for the first time, have got no idea what it's actually called or what terminology to use.
Yeah.
Using keyword research, you can analyze what terms people are putting into search engines for your terms. So it's not necessarily the dumbing down of your website, it's just making it that little bit more search engine savvy for you. If you know, like it's quite funny, there's still people out there that search for Corgi registered as opposed to gas safe. Now, when was the last time it was officially Corgi registered? I really don't know.
It's just something that people are so familiar with, isn't
yeah,
it?
but that's it. But it's a bit of language that someone goes, oh, are you Corgi registered? Well, yeah, technically, mate, it's gas safe. But having
it's the same thing, but it's just changed its name.
It's just become part of the lexicon, hasn't it?
Very much so, yeah.
Yep.
So having that type of terminology on your site, expanding the content of your website to have a little bit more of a catch-all. What is great about search engines right now is that they are able to treat individual pages of a website as if they are a website in their own right.
Yeah.
So as long as one is sensibly feeding into another, you're not sitting there going, oh, yes, I do Herbalife, I also do money transfers to Africa, and I also sell energy packages, then a website like that, you're going to look at it and say, well, this is a load of nonsense. What is it? But if you are, sorry, I'm going to keep picking on the plumbers out here today. I do apologise. But if you've got a page that is dedicated to boiler repair, boiler servicing, boiler replacement, 24-hour boiler call-out, the search engines can look at that and say, well, that's good. Yeah, they're talking separately and knowledgeably about all the different services that they are offering regarding boilers. That's a really good thing.
No, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Stuart. That's very useful. I think we'll take another break now, and then we will talk all things networking, because I know you, like us, love a bit of networking.
Just before we go to that,
go on,
Stuart, how do we find you online?
I've no idea. I don't think I'm online.
Search what?
Search what? You can find us at bottlegreenwebsites.com.
Brilliant. And are you on socials?
I'm definitely on LinkedIn. I think we've got a Facebook page, but we've not done anything with it in years.
Fair enough. But you're on LinkedIn under Stuart Wilson. Are you under Bottle Green as well?
There is a Bottle Green account as well.
Cool. Brilliant.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're going to go to a song. Another Girl, Another Planet. The only ones. Fantastic. There we go. So that's another song requested by Stuart. So
bit of a favourite of mine, yeah.
Yeah, you like that one. And they're a one-hit wonder, you say?
I think they're a bit of a one-hit. Well, I certainly don't think of anything else that they've ever done, but it seems to feature quite heavily on a lot of films, obviously more along the sci-fi route due to its lyrics. But
yeah, fair enough. Okay.
I like it.
Lisa, you said you had a music question.
Well, I know Stu. I know Stu loves his music, loves his gigs. We've talked about going, to see some fantastic live bands, and I know you've gone to some incredible runs recently. What's your next gig? Because I know you've got one in. I'm sure you have. And what was your? I kind of know the answer to this, I reckon. But what's been your favourite one of recent times?
Well, next gig's coming up. I'm going to see a fantastic Edinburgh band called Swim School.
Okay.
They are a free piece from the capital, but really good kind of rock indie stuff. They're playing in London in November, so really looking forward to going to see them. Also got a gig to see Fountain Islands, who are far more local boys. They are based from Canterbury.
Oh.
They have got a very kind of I was going to say unique-ish kind of pop punk kind of style. If you are a fan of the likes of the All American Rejects, you will be a fan of Fountain Islands.
Okay,
definitely worth speaking to
check them out.
Lead singer Alex Porro is a fantastic singer and such a stage presence. But for the bigger gigs, I've got tickets to see Def Leppard next year.
Oh yes,
which
the big
I am
one.
Extremely looking forward to. They have been on the bucket list for a long time now, and they're being supported by Extreme.
I love Extreme.
Nice, nice.
That's so my era. I wanted to see Extreme for the longest time. I think I haven't, but I've seen Gary, the lead singer, who when he was fronting Queen. I saw them as part of a bigger gig, and I can't even shamefully recall what it was. But yeah, like those guys are just fantastic musicians, and he's obviously a fantastic frontman. So yeah, that's going to be a good one. And Def Leppard are just totally my era growing up with what we used to call hair rock.
Yes,
they Def Leppard were kind of chief amongst those. So yeah.
Just for our listeners, what do you mean by hair rock?
I think there was a look. Amongst certain 80s, 90s rock bands, it was all the, usually the kind of pretty boys with the kind of big shaggy hair.
My brain went immediately to Wayne's World.
Well, yeah, that is what we're talking about.
The Queen, sort of like where there's four of them in the car, and they're all listening to Bohemian Rhapsody.
That
you
kind of
is
what we're
that is accurate.
Good.
Yeah. Certainly the Wayne's World guys would have been very much into their Metallica,
the Guns N' Roses, the Skid Row, and all
Party
that
Time.
sort of
Excellent.
Exactly.
I like that, John. Well done.
Brilliant. And obviously, Lisa asked you there, what was your favourite one of recent times? I reckon I know what it is.
I think you will reckon, because I didn't stop talking about it before I went, and then I think I was worse when I came back.
It wasn't in Birmingham, was it?
It was in Birmingham, yes. I was very lucky to be one of the few that got to see Black Sabbath and Ozzy Osbourne's last ever gig. Yeah. It was a phenomenal just tribute day to them. So many bands that have been shaped by the heavy metal scene created by Ozzy. Obviously there's a lot of kind of musical kind of legends and gods out there, no matter what your musical preferences are. But there's very few out there that have said, look, I've actually created a genre of music that is still so popular today. Seeing guys like Mastodon, Alice in Chains, seeing, I'm actually going blank now of everyone I saw there, but getting wrapped up with guys like Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne being there himself. And he was in his throne, but he still had it. His voice sounded incredible, and he still had that cheeky, demonic look in his face that we've all kind of known and loved for decades. And unfortunately, with Ozzy passing away a mere 17 days after, made it even more poignant. But no, what a gig, what a day, absolutely,
what a legacy,
fantastic.
right?
And I think as well, not a lot of people appreciated that every single penny went to charity. They raised about 150 million.
That's incredible.
And it all went to local children's hospitals.
Oh, wow.
And,
that's brilliant.
And
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, a lot of, unfortunately, kind of Sharon Osbourne, Ozzy's wife, somehow gets a lot of bad press, and they were saying, it's a money grab. It's like, no, not one penny. It all went massively to help local charities in Birmingham.
Brilliant.
No, that's fantastic. I love it. But yeah, I know.
Yes, I'm amazed I've got any eardrums left. But
you know, what a way to go deaf. No, those stadium gigs are just fantastic, aren't they? And such a good atmosphere. It's not just about who you're seeing, but actually who you're seeing it with, and everybody's always so friendly. It's always so good natured. Right?
I think without being melodramatic, everyone knew why they were there. We were all there for an amazing time, and kind of everyone. The anticipation just built throughout the day. I
don't think anyone expected it to be 17 days later, but I think that was a bit quicker than expected. But obviously, they knew that it was going to be the last one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So yeah.
Oh, it was always very much said that we're not releasing any new music. There was rumours doing the rounds. But they're going to go to North America and do it. The age of these guys now, don't get me wrong, these guys were all well into their 70s. On stage, you could not have told.
Sure.
Kind of seeing the bass intro for Nib was just incredible as well. But now seeing those guys on stage all together for last time was absolutely phenomenal. So what a musical highlight of the year.
Yeah,
amazing.
Love that. Okay, so we're going to move on to favourite subject. If I think a few of us in the room might be right, how we met and why we're
quite like
here.
Networking, you know.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've been to a few networking events in your time, Stu, and that's how you two met, I believe.
Indeed, yes, that's right.
So a bit of a networking torch. Yeah.
It has been said. Ian's got some competition.
Yeah.
No, I can't touch it. Whatever. No chance.
So when you think about networking, why do you do it? Why does it hold value for you?
I think there's definitely a few prongs on that one. Kind of, we all love going to business networking, but it has to work for you. You do need to make sure that you are getting business out of the room. You are making your presence aware out there. But I think for a lot of people, it's the camaraderie and being able to be part of that community. You're catching up with people. You're getting to know people. You're developing friendships, even just from knowing, John, your kid took part in a football tournament recently. How did you get on? You're catching up in that way. Or, saw it was school exam results day. How did your daughter do? That type of thing. You get to know each other. And I am a great believer that people do buy from people. Very much so. Now, you can kind of quite easily sit there and Google SEO Kent, and there will be hundreds of companies that pop up. But being able to be in the same room as somebody there, there's not one person I've met from networking that isn't happy to give somebody a bit of free advice or kind of point someone in the right direction, because that's, at the end of the day, what it's all about. Obviously, on the hope that if someone does decide to go ahead with a service, that they are more likely to use you. And a phrase from a different networking group of know, like, and trust.
Indeed.
It does hold so true.
Yeah.
I think as well, it goes both ways. So not only can you get a bit of advice from someone, but you can give some advice. So it does go both ways. So, you might give that advice one day and then need something from someone in the room the next day, and somebody can turn around and go, oh yeah, if you try this, this and this. I did it this morning. I had someone at the Thanet premiere that I go to on a Wednesday morning, and he was asking me about it was a graphic that needed to be updated. So it's basically for his son's swim team. And I don't need to get involved in that. That's not something. He doesn't need to come to me every time it needs to be like renewed and things. It's like, well, that's not necessary. I said, what you need to do is you need to go on Canva, set yourself up something that's got the spaces where the scores are going to be different, and then from that you've then got your template. So you've got your template. All you're doing is changing the scores, and that's that. And I didn't need to do that. I could have said to him, well, if you send it over to me, I'll create you a template. But that's. For me, that's not the right thing to do. That's what networking is. It's giving that little bit of advice because it doesn't need to come. It's not as far as needing my services. Yeah. So giving that bit of advice, free advice, go and use that free bit of software. And at some point you might need my services for something that's bigger.
Yeah, I think you make a very, very fair point. You sometimes never sure who you could be filling out a contact form for, picking up the phone to. Is this business reputable? Is this business good? Yeah, they might have a good ranking or something like that. But if you physically know somebody in a room, then you're far more likely to, can I pick your brain for a second, mate? Or
absolutely,
can I have a bit of advice around? And people are friendly to do that. Now, quite easily, on that example you just gave, John, you could sat there and say, oh yeah, great, I'm going to charge this guy 30, 40, 50 pounds every time he needs this done. And all of a sudden,
exactly.
it turns into a little bit of a money pit for something quite simple.
Yeah.
But giving the right advice is far better. And I think that's something a lot of networking groups don't shine a light on. It is that kind of support and community. Like we all run completely different businesses out there, but we can all face very much the same problems. Is it issues with a venue? Is it issues with a larger supplier? Is it somebody not paying their invoice? Being able to be part of a community and a little bit like, shining it back to Movember, there's no shame in saying, I'm having an absolute blooming nightmare with this situation right now. I'm willing to bet the majority of people in that room are going to be able to put their hands up and say, oh, God, we had that a couple of years ago, or, oh, I'm going through the same thing right now.
Yeah.
And what a difference it makes to kind of have that weight lifted off your shoulder to kind of go, I'm not alone in this. It isn't just me. I've not done something stupid. And be able to kind of chuck that out to a room and say, well, how did you fix it? Say, oh, well, we did X, Y, Z. And now, it's not always going to be the perfect answer every time.
No.
And I don't think any of us pretend to give out legal advice or anything like that, we should state. But being able to say, oh, yeah, I've been in your shoes, that is a very positive
We're all on
thing.
the same sort of journey.
Yes.
You know, everyone is on the same sort of journey. We've all started in our businesses because we want to do what we want to do.
Yeah.
We've all got to do the extra stuff that is being in business, and we didn't get into it for them things. And so we've all got to do things that we don't really see as our job. So then that's why you then start looking at outsourcing and stuff like that. But you're exactly right, is that we're all on that same journey, but everyone's going to do things slightly differently. So if you get advice from someone, you might be able to take that advice and go, I'll take 80% of that, but actually I'd do this a little bit differently and try to see how that works, or you know, that sort of thing. You don't have to do things exactly the same because it's not going to fit. It might not fit your business and their business. They might already be in a position where they've got staff, or you know, there's going to be so many different variables where it makes more sense to sort of take the advice, have a look at it, and see how that will fit with you.
Yeah. You're going to get a cross section of advice, but depending on where you are, you can listen to it and absorb it and say, okay, well, you know, that some of that applies to me. I'm going to have a think about that. But I think one of the things I've enjoyed when we've been in a networking room is realizing how much commonality there is between us. We're more similar than we are different, as the saying goes. And entrepreneurship and business ownership can be quite a solo journey and quite a lonely one for that, especially if you're sort of you're a one woman band sitting on your own. So getting out there and gaining that realization and gaining that commonality and understanding that people are experiencing the same issues and may have solutions is really comforting, I think. Yeah,
I think on that point, there is a blog post that was released recently on the SBC website about business for a solo or small business provider can be a very lonely thing, can be very difficult. So that's where networking can really come into it. I would dread to think, even from that networking room yesterday morning, John, in Canterbury, what was there now, 18, 19 20. In it? 20.
We had 20 in it.
I didn't count myself. Apologies.
Yeah, that's it.
But how many years of business experience was in that room?
Oh, a lot.
Add them up.
Absolute loads.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think about it, I mean, I've got 13 years. So that's just me on my own. So, you know, when you think about some people who are like Sheil, for example, she's been in business for 30 or 40 years, I think.
But she's so young.
I know. And absolutely, I don't understand. I don't know what our secret is. But no, you're exactly.
Eggs and cider.
Exactly. Well, yeah, exactly that. But no, you are exactly right. That it is there is so many. There's so much experience in the room.
So it's entirely probable someone's come across this.
Exactly.
Someone has woke up in the morning in that cold sweat and the issue that you've got, or that thing that's keeping you up at night, or you're pulling your hair out over some situation. I'm willing to bet the majority of people in that room have either faced it themselves or are going to have to face it in the future.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think also I've recently started using my time in our meetings, in the SBC meetings, to talk about networking. And so not necessarily about SBC, but about the actual sort of the whole thing. And one of the ones that I've been asking ChatGPT about, what does it think about this and that and the other? And obviously you two know that because you've been in the room. And one of them was as you mentioned a minute ago, one of them was the mental health of being go into networking. What is the point of it? How does it help your mental health? And, you know, for solopreneurs or, you know, people who are working from home, it is such an important thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I think, you know, because I found that when I was during COVID, that it was the online meetings were good and they did keep me a bit sane. I'm not twitching much anymore. But no, in all fairness, in all seriousness, it was speaking to people. And, you know, when we weren't allowed out, we weren't allowed to see people. You still had screen time with people that you have commonality with, and being able to still do that was really, really important.
Yeah, it was that contact with the outside, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When we were very much limited to your mild mental health walk or kind of queuing at space distance to get into the local shop.
Yeah. But now, since we've come back out into the real world for the last few years, it's far more prevalent. It's far more noticeable, and you know now going along to meetings for mental health reasons. And actually, you know, I go to meetings, I get a lot of energy from the room because I enjoy talking to people, seeing good things going around the room is really great for me. I love it, you know, and so it's brilliant to facilitate meetings where that's all going on. From my point of view. So yeah, I think it's a very, very important part of networking.
Yeah, it's so important to get out and see people. You know, not only to discuss those communal challenges, you know, your shared interests. To discover what you got in common at our meeting yesterday with some of our guests, we realised that we both come from London. We both moved in the last year and a half. You know, again, so much commonality that you don't know is there, and it's great to chat to people about that. I think from a business perspective, for me, it's you got to put the reps in for me when it comes to talking about your business and make it, you know, getting your point across in an effective way, and talking about your own business also really helps cement it in your mind. It's like, oh, this is my why, this is my purpose, this is who I'm looking for, this is, you know, why I do what I do. And so it's kind of a personal reinforcement as well. You're getting you're getting your purpose reflected back to you by people's reaction and just talking to people and their interest in you, which I think is so important. It's very easy to sort of sit there and just get into the day-to-day and not stop to think about why you're doing what you're doing. And I think it's important for you to remember that every now and again. Otherwise, you can get you can get quite disheartened and bogged down just in the problems and the issues that come with running your own business. So, yeah, I think getting out there and talking about it to other people is really refreshing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think having that as well, you bring up an excellent point, Lisa, regarding you've almost got your own test room for everything.
Yeah.
You can sound out like your friend of mine, Amanda, spoke about doing a retreat and a couple of meetings ago, and she mentioned, right, what would people want to get out of a retreat? What would you want beforehand? What would you want after?
Yeah.
And the room lit up. So all of a sudden, she's now got hopefully some very useful data that she can kind of go away and think, oh, I never thought of that. I never thought to include this. So having networking, again, a room of professional people to kind of feed that back to is more than welcome for any business, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. And then it can be quite nerve-wracking for someone to come into a room for the first time, and you know we've all been those people and seen those people where we're kind of maybe sort of skulking at the back of the room, and everybody seems like they know each other, and we don't know anyone, and you know it can be quite a scary place to be. What advice would you give someone who's starting out and networking and maybe going to their first meeting?
You know, I think we've all been there, haven't we? We've all been to larger networking rooms, and you look across the vast plain, and then you see, oh, great, there's John. I know him. I can run over and speak to him. Now, no offence to John. There's not much point in me talking to John because John knows me
quite well.
Exactly. I know John. John knows me, and it's entirely probable if there's any business that either of us can kind of share with one another, it's probably going to happen anyway.
Absolutely.
I will say that the vast majority of networking rooms out there are very friendly.
Yeah.
They are very welcoming. They are as interested to learn about your products as they are to learn about yours as well. So it's easy to say, but don't be nervous. People are very approachable, and you being able to give a pitch. Like I saw it yesterday. There was a young couple in the room for the first time, and they mentioned what they did. They spoke about it, and a couple of people wanted to speak to them at the end regarding it, which was absolutely fantastic. Just making sure that you're kind of putting yourself out there, and I think 99% of people that go to networking, they're not rude. They are kind of keen to know you. And
absolutely.
If you mention to them, I'm desperately looking to speak to an estate agent, then it's entirely probable they know somebody in that field that they're going to introduce you. There could be somebody even in that room that you've just not spoke to yet.
Yeah.
It is kind of a vast pool of resources being out there.
Yeah, I think be a good listener as well. You don't have to, if you're not comfortable sort of putting yourself forward initially, just ask people what they do, because people are really receptive to that, obviously, because that's what they're there for.
That's always a really good one, is be a good listener, and and as you say, because it means that you've got to do less talking, but also they will invite you to talk. They will invite you with some questions. Once you've given them the chance to stroke their ego, then obviously the next step is for them to ask you. I mean, we've all been in them sort of them one-to-ones where we've all had them one-to-ones, the bad ones, where you get sort of an hour's sale pitch. But we've also been in the one-to-ones where you let the other person go first. You almost let them win. You win by letting them go first. But obviously 20, 30 minutes in, it'll flip on its head if it is as sort of broken down as that. Most of the time, it'll be sort of back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do know somebody that you don't have a one-to-one with them; you have a one.
Yeah,
just a one.
I can believe that.
One.
Yeah. So this is all One Direction. Not that band.
Not in a good way. No. I also think you can have one-to-ones with someone who, on the face of it, you think, well, I don't need them and they don't need me, sort of thing. But you can still get a really good connection. And again, it's not just about who they are; it's about who they know.
But I always caveat that and say, well, you might not need their services, but you've got no idea that if they need yours. It's like, because you might think that they don't need your services, but you've got no idea who their partner is, or who their sister is, or their brother is, or the people that they know or in their close family might desperately need a holiday, or and all of a sudden, they've been screwed over by someone in a travel agent, and they just need someone who is going to help them. Yeah, and you've got no idea. It's those. I get baffled by people. Oh no, I'm not going to have one-to-one with them. I don't need their services.
Yeah, you should have a word with anybody.
That's just daft. And it's really, really silly to think so small.
Yeah,
because
I don't think you should ever close yourself off.
No, definitely not. And also, it's not always just about business.
It's not. It's about making friends, meeting people.
Exactly. Being an influencer in your field and having the opportunity to have that time where they might ask for some advice. You might not get any business out of it, but if they ask for some advice, like we talked about earlier, and then they go away and say, do you know what? I spoke to Lisa about this holiday, and I didn't book with her, but my God, she knows her stuff. And it's like, and where does that go? Well, how much is that? How much is that bit of marketing worth?
And how valuable is that?
Yeah. How much is that worth?
We all work on referrals. We all work on word of mouth. Yeah. But as well, I obviously moved to the area a year and a half ago, and I always say this, I approached it very much with a view to, I just want to meet people, and there was nothing else attached to that. And actually, I found it served me really well. And I think you have to be really open-minded and just go into every discussion with this is just about connection. Anything else is the cherry on top.
Absolutely. And that's the way we've set up SPC, is around that. Yes, of course, we all want referrals, and it's been quite nice recently. We've started hearing quite a lot of referrals being passed around the room, and we don't track that, but it's nice to hear. Yeah. So but
these things do take time to build up.
Of course,
No, nobody here would expect to put an advert in the local paper, or put one post onto social media. I didn't get anything from. It's useless. For some reason, there are still people out there that approach networking in that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you've got the double header. It's like networking and SEO. It's like but both of them things. It's like, come on, sort it out first day.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love that.
What do you mean you haven't got me top of the rankings after 3 days?
I know, I've got that button on my keyboard. I just won't use it.
Let's go boost. There you go.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah. No, I hear you on that. I used to work in affiliate marketing, which I think the the average time that we used to put out was between 3 to 6 months. That always went down super well.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I can believe it.
I have definitely lost business from how long will this take question, which is a very fair question.
Yeah.
But people are going, oh, no, I need instant results. Like,
No.
well, not from search engine optimization.
Good luck,
you know,
then.
innit?
I advise you to go down that dark alley there, and there'll be a guy at the end in a raincoat, and he'll have a suitcase, and in that suitcase is the special sauce.
Yeah, that's
It's like, no, that doesn't exist.
No, give it time, let it breathe. I've had this conversation with many people, and trust me, it will come. I'm starting to see the fruits of my labour with regards to networking now more than ever. But you can't rush these things. You can't rush relationships. And it's all about relationships. It's all about getting to know people, putting yourself out there, being open, and having those discussions, and the rest will come. Thank you very much again, Stu. We're going to come back to a bit of a wider discussion, I think, on networking and community and how that serves us all financially, friendship-wise, and all of that good stuff. And I think it links back to the November piece as well. But as a bit of a little tribute to Aussie, I think we're going to go to some Aussie now with Kelly Osbourne and Changes.
I'm feeling happy. I am so sad. I lost the best friend that I ever had.
She is my baby. I love her so. But it's too late now. I've let her go.
We're going through changes. We're going through changes. We shared the years, we shared each day. I love you, Daddy, but I found my way.
You know the world is an evil place. My baby's grown now. She's found her way.
We're going through changes. We're going through It took so long to realize, and I can still hear his last goodbye.
Now all my days are filled with tears. Wish I could go back
That was Ozzy and Kelly Osbourne there with Changes. Stu, I think this track holds a little bit of a special resonance for you, right?
Yes, absolutely. Again, since you let me bring it up, thank you. Attending the Back to the Beginning.
Oh, did you go to that?
I did, yeah. Sorry,
You barely mentioned it.
You know what? I think for once the T-shirt's in the wash. Could almost stand up by itself now. But in attending that show, the young British rapper Youngblood did an absolutely haunting version of this song. Well worth checking out on YouTube. If you search Youngblood Back to the Beginning, I'm sure you'll be able to find it there. But his voice and range is absolutely stunning, and I think that day, and for the millions streaming, which I believe at one point hit over 4 million people watching that show live, I think he definitely gained a lot of new fans that day.
I think he's kind of been, his star seems to have risen since, and I think he's almost being seen as that successor. They kind of, that's kind of the young blood. Not to make fun out of it, but he's definitely kind of, he's kind of crossed over into that rock realm as well. So he's gained, as you say, a lot of new fans. I think rightly so.
Which I think is almost a bit of a shame, because us rock and kind of metal guys, we can be a bit closed off. We aren't always the best at going, there's a new band in, because they're instantly being compared to somebody else, and then they're saying, but they're no Iron Maiden. Well, no, they're not Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden or Iron Maiden.
Yeah, that's exactly, it. Yeah. Who else is coming in? So I think the rock community, not that they're not kind of progressive, but just sometimes it could be like, nope, I've listened to the same band for the last 20 years and I will continue to do so. Yeah, going forward.
They are who I like, and that's how it is.
Yeah, there's definitely room for. Well, there has to be, right? Who's the next generation? These guys aren't getting any younger.
Well, no, absolutely.
But yeah, so we have a few more shout outs, I think, John.
Yeah, I've got one from Rachel Constant Taylor. So Constant Recruitment, they do permanent recruitment in Kent. They do it properly, so it's all done properly. Sorry,
what's done properly, John?
Permanent recruitment.
Excellent.
Yeah, good.
I know she does it properly, but you don't do shout outs properly.
No, I don't. I fail, don't I? Yeah, I'll put my teeth in and start again. So I'll start again.
Sorry, it's not like we're live.
Scratch that moment. Thanks for helping me there, Stu.
You're welcome.
So, Constant Recruitment, perm recruitment in Kent done properly, tech, legal and business support. That's constantrecruitment.co.uk. See, it could be a voiceover, couldn't I?
Could you? Yeah. Got face for it.
I've definitely got a face for radio, definitely. I think that's all we've got at the moment.
Awesome. Okay, so our wider discussion today, our panel discussion, is talking about something we've already touched on, but it's about community and its importance in business. We talked about networking, and obviously community kind of is synonymous with that. As we've mentioned, people do business with people. That's our belief, and I think that's why we all do networking. That's why we do what we do, and that trust starts in the community. So when you think about community, and we're not just talking about networking, we're talking about any community that you're part of. How has it kind of helped your confidence and your visibility, both personally and for your business, Stu?
Yeah, very much so. I remember going to my first business networking event, and this was something that was recommended to us by an accountant when we were just starting out. And you sit there and go, right, it's a business meeting. This is going to be all professional. I went to this meeting properly shaven, hair kind of gelled right back, in a suit, absolutely. The polish on the shoes had not been seen since I was in high school. I can assure you.
I did exactly the same thing.
And went to the meeting. It's like, hi, I'm Stuart Wilson, Ball Green Websites. We do websites and SEO. Like, thought you were a junior accountant or something. Obviously, I look like a junior nothing these days. I can assure you that. But
you're like a skater boy.
Said see you later, boy.
Yeah,
thank you. Another fantastic act there.
Gotta love a bit of Avril Lavigne.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Different reasons, maybe, but yeah. But
anyway, crack on.
Yeah, sorry. We were talking about Avril Lavigne.
He got distracted. He's easily distracted.
Very by Avril Lavigne.
Back in the room, Stuart. Back in the room.
So no, but being able to kind of almost kind of be yourself and be your business in a networking room. I don't think anyone's ever offended if the painter and decorator comes in stuff that's similar to what he would wear
he comes in his
work.
overalls.
That's it.
Because he's going to a job straight after.
That's
Exactly.
it. And
Exactly.
yeah, certainly from that, then went to a second business networking meeting. I went in jeans and either like a checked kind of shirt or something like that. People, surprisingly enough, believe that, oh yeah, he does look like he does websites. I think we all might not be in a world now where we have to go to work in a corporate uniform, but there's very much almost a corporate dress code. I think to kind of put out there that what people expect someone to wear and someone to look like when they meet you.
I'm a little bit disappointed that you found out in the first meeting. So I went along to a big organisation and joined after my first visit and was pleased to get involved and that. And it must have been about 2 months before somebody said to me, he's like, why do you turn up in a suit every week? And I was like, well, because that's what you do. And he said, no, look around the room. And it was literally, you had the accountant, you had the IFA, you had those people in suits, and you had everyone else not.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh yeah. It was, and it was, but exactly as you say, you're a bit wet behind the ears. You don't know anything any different, and you think it's a business meeting. I need to look. Like, you almost think about it being an interview.
Well,
you're going for a job interview, so you need to look the best.
Well, that's it. But flip it on its head. If you turned up your first one in jeans and a t-shirt and everyone else was in a suit,
oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, you don't want the ground to swallow you up. Yeah.
It's better that way around than
I believe so.
Over than underdress.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, I think so. I think obviously your stock in trade is your absolutely fantastic shirts. We'll call them fantastic.
Yeah.
Where'd you get them from? Everywhere, or is there a particular place that
there's a lot of blind pimps out there.
I bought you a few off Temu.
Yeah, you have actually. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Temu is a good place for funky shirts.
High quality fabric. No, I do tend to like to wear a louder kind of shirt because obviously being 6'5" and from Scotland clearly isn't a selling card enough. No, exactly. So wearing a more of an elaborate shirt, I think, is kind of out there. It wasn't intended to be part of the brand, but it seems to be something that has sort of been there. Yeah, that's it.
But I think the phrase "be yourself" is so important, cannot be understated. And going back to, what you'd say to people when they're thinking about networking, be yourself, because you're, and this is no truer than when you're an entrepreneur, you are representing your brand. Your brand is you. People are going to buy from you. So you better be yourself, because that's ultimately the person that other people are going to be dealing with. So keeping up a facade or wearing something or behaving in a way that's not you will not last long.
And I think to kind of get it out of your mindset is that you can't sell to everyone. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah. That's such an early lesson for me as
well. It really is. And also, there's no point, and you correctly said it there, Lisa, there's no point in pretending to be someone else, because as a working business relationship develops, not say the mask's going to slip, that makes it sound very shady, but you're going to then realise very quickly that this person isn't my cup of tea. Or now, it doesn't have to be a falling out. There doesn't have to be a bad blood situation on it. It can simply just be it
just doesn't work.
Yeah, that's it. A relationship isn't working. Yeah. So being able to kind of be out there, be yourself. If you like to kind of go in high level stats and figures or talk about what's in the news, or if you like to lead with a joke or anything like that, you will always find someone who's going to buy off you. And these are the people who are going to be your longer term customers, because they know you, they understand what you're about, your vibe. Now, there's always going to be a level of being professional. I think one of the best things for networking is turning up.
Absolutely.
We touched on it earlier, but you're not going to sell to a room just going once. And people obviously understand that, can't attend this meeting today because I've got an early meeting in somewhere else. But it doesn't take too long for it to be, I've got this meeting, or I just can't make it today. It's like all of a sudden you've not been in a room for a couple of months, and people do start to kind of wonder, is your business still going? Are they still functioning?
It's one of the really sad things when it comes to people that may want to leave the group, and they get. I've had nothing from it. You've been to 4 meetings in 12 months. It's like, what do you expect? It's like, honestly, what do you expect? It's like you can't sort of would you still be alive if you didn't breathe?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's the same principle. You can't just breathe 4 breaths and think that's the end of it. It's the same thing. You've got to attend. You've got to be visible. And if you're there and you're building relationships and it still doesn't work, then there's going to be plenty of people in the room who can help you to perfect, because it might be that you're coming across in the wrong way, or, you know, whatever it is. But if you're there, you can get that support. If you're not there, then it is what it is.
I think there's always going to be easier sales in a networking room as well.
Yeah, of course.
Like if I was to say, all right, I need 100 new business cards for doing something like that. If I go to a person, they create them, and I go, oh, well, that wasn't the design I asked for.
I'm disappointed you didn't say me there.
I didn't say.
I'm very upset by that, Stuart.
No, but because I'm about to say how rubbish they were, and that obviously wouldn't be you.
Ah, there you go.
So
Fair point. Yeah, but why would you have gone to them in the first place? I'm not, you know.
He's being nice. I know it's an unusual state.
No, that's not. That can't be right. It's
Talking
Stuart.
to Santa. But if the person doesn't deliver on their promise, things like that, you can say, well, that's annoying. All right, well, I'm just not using that person again. But that was only £50, £100, something like that. It's still annoying. But trusting somebody with, say, for example, their website is a bigger build.
Sure.
Their SEO, it can be quite a sizable investment. Or, you know what, I've got £8,000 I want to spend on a holiday. If that goes wrong, that is a much, much bigger fish.
Right.
So getting to know somebody in that room, getting to understand, kind of hearing some of their examples, hearing some of their successes, is a far, far better sales tool.
Yeah, Lisa, we gave you our money for a holiday. We know where you live.
Exactly. With holidays, it's such an easy, and I say it's an easy thing. It's a pattern that I see often, and it doesn't just happen with me as an individual. It happens with, you know, big travel companies I've worked for. You'll look at customer behaviour, and they'll book a couple of nights in a UK hotel first to test out the waters, and then if that goes well, they might book a week in Europe. If that goes well, then they're booking the 2-3 week holiday in Southeast Asia or whatever, Southeast Asia or whatever it is. But it's, you know, there are ways to test the waters, but it's still about connection and building that trust, building that, you know, relationship with someone that enables you to test them and also have honest conversations, which is very uncomfortable to do if you don't know the person. If you do, those uncomfortable conversations can be a little bit easier, and you can be honest and you can be upfront about your expectations and about anything that goes wrong.
But also, I think as well, on the flip side, you don't have to use everyone.
No, of course
I think
you can't.
Sometimes there are, you know, there's the expectation. It's like, you know, if you've got a job that needs doing, you have to use someone in the room. It's like, no, you don't. You use someone that you feel comfortable with. If you've already got someone that you're using, or if you've, you know, whatever, or if that person doesn't quite meet your needs, then it's okay not to use that person, and you don't have to.
Oh, I've heard that apology so many times in networking rooms. They say, oh, sorry, but we've got our person. It's like, look, as long as that person is delivering for you and not letting you down, and obviously financially is not taking advantage of you because of a good relationship, then why would you? Why wouldn't you? I always think it's fair that a lot of people in networking rooms, for some reason, got it in their head to kind of sit there and say, oh, it's a right to business. Well, no, it's an opportunity to quote or to discuss. Yeah. And as long as you are quoting apples for apples on any job, on any kind of thing, like Lisa, you must have seen it God knows how many times in the travel world, someone going, "Oh, but your holiday's £3,000 more expensive." Right? Yeah, but you're also staying in a 1-star hotel as opposed to a 4-star hotel. You're not including these excursions, and I have, and
it's
they're all explainable.
It as long as, you know, and things are explainable. It's so often the case that someone will say, "Look at this," and you'll say, "Yes, but this doesn't include luggage. It doesn't include transfers. You have a non-refundable rate, whereas I've quoted you a refundable rate. You've got a better class of room. All of those things add up to quite a significant amount of money.
They all cost money.
Of course they do. But people don't know it. People don't think that. I mean, the cost of luggage alone is insane. You know, and a lot of the low cost airlines, almost all of them now, are not including any luggage with their fares. So people will say, "Oh, hang on a minute, you're adding about £100 or so per person because they charge each way." or just a cabin bag, let alone hold luggage.
Well, let's pretend you're away for 2 weeks, so you might need more than the clothes you're standing up in.
Exactly that. Those little things.
So that quote you got off Compare the Market is all of a sudden not really going to work for you, is it?
Yeah,
exactly.
Unless you're going to buy all of your clothes in Turkey.
And so obviously from the brilliant insurance guys that we know through the group, we have heard some horror stories.
Oh God, yeah.
They are very professional. They do not name names.
No,
but the amount of times that they hear stories of, but I managed to save myself $200. Like, yeah, great, and you're now not covered for this thing that you do, which is primarily your business.
Your endorsements now don't cover you for exactly the thing that you need them to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so that's you're just giving the insurance company money, and they're not going to pay out if there's ever a need for it. Yeah. Which, if you think that's a good thing because it's cheaper, well done. Yeah.
It's just not always about that, and it's and there's so much good knowledge in the room.
There really is, yeah.
And I think it's that, as you say, you've got Carl and Archie who are in the room, and they do offer, from an insurance point of view, they do offer some really good advice around insurance, because, as you say, if you're not covered for the right things, insurance companies will always try and find a way of not paying out.
Yeah,
and so which is, in all fairness, it's their right to do so. If you're not covered, if you've done something that isn't covered, then fair enough. But actually, wouldn't it be better to be covered and pay an extra £6 a month or something?
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever it is. So
it's not always about the price on the page. It's the actual value, and but selling holidays, you know that better than anyone, because obviously you can always get it cheaper. Doesn't make it better.
Absolutely.
So Stuart, how can you recall a time when a connection that you've made really kind of changed your business in a way, or gave you an opportunity that was down to, you think, that particular moment in time?
I think from going to initial business networking meetings, as kind of John succinctly put it, kind of a little bit wet behind the ears, things like that, not knowing into the room. I had a client, still have a client, who very early on kind of said, you know what, we're gonna work with you. We're gonna, which somebody taking that plunge, taking that belief in you so early on does mean so much. But then it's that wider network. He was then able to recommend me to his colleagues, to one of another company that they use, and that person standing up in the room, which I think is something that SPC do fantastically well. It's the testimonial side of things. Yeah. It doesn't have to be kind of a fanfare with minstrels and everything like that at the end of it, but it can just be you really helped me. Thank you so much. That is worth far more than anybody kind of just standing up saying, these are my services, things like that, or, I recently helped a company just because, you're telling me that example, but that coming from a third party still in your room, it is such a brilliant thing. And getting that so early on kind of gave us that real belief that, we have done the right thing, because we quit our full-time jobs, we kind of branched out, I even remember, you will laugh at me, we were discussing doing it, things like that, and I actually went round to see my mum and dad, not from a point of view to ask permission or things like that, but just to kind of say to them, this is what we're thinking, this is what we're going to do, what are your thoughts? And bless them, they were so supportive, they really were.
And one of the best ones I've ever had is, in all the time we've been doing it, is like from a referral point of view, is Susie K. Brooks. And she said one of her friends, we actually heard it from Justin first, and then Susie corroborated the story. And basically it was Justin and DiGiorgio Properties went out to this house, and there was these chaps who were basically ripping off these people for a roof, and they'd taken all this money, they'd done some work, and honestly the work wasn't even substandard. It was pretty much not even there. And so Justin and DiGiorgio basically removed them from the building with the permission of the people there, and they covered the job. But they didn't just cover the job to make it right. They made it right. They made it good, and they did it at cost price, because they'd already been ripped off. And it was like, do you know what? Fair play.
What a group.
What an amazing thing to do.
Yeah, fantastic.
That they've seen that there's no opportunity there other than the goodwill. You know, there's going to be some amazing goodwill from that, but they did it because it was the right thing to do, and they saw what was going on. And I believe, if I'm right in saying, I believe that they saw from outside that you could see that it wasn't right. And then obviously then they spoke to the people, and they were they were unhappy because they'd been taken of 15, 20 grand or whatever. It was a lot of money.
It's never cheap, is it?
Yeah.
You never hear of somebody getting ripped off for kind of 200-300 quid and then going, all right, it's an annoying one. It's a sore lesson. I still don't want to learn it. But
it's a slap in the face, but never mind.
Yeah. But, oh God, yeah. And I used to love watching kind of Watchdog and things like that on BBC, but there was just so many.
I was never on there. Stop it.
Hence the beard.
Yeah, this is it.
That's it.
No, exactly. No, it's such a nice story, but I think there's a lot of stories like that. It's not always about the business; it's just about doing the right thing sometimes.
Exactly, but also, as I said a minute ago, you can never underestimate the power of goodwill.
Yeah,
you know that is such especially in networking, it's such a massive thing.
The amount of times as well, from an SEO point of view, I see people saying, "Oh yeah, we've got somebody looked after our website, but we're not quite sure." You go on there and you go, well, what have they done? Like there are stuff that I would kind of say, look, this is kind of like week 1, 2, 3 basic kind of stuff. Putting information onto the site, making sure it's linked back to Google Analytics or Search Console or something like that. And you're sitting there going, these people have got none of that. Like, what is this other person been doing on the site apart from kind of just getting their invoice paid every month?
Yeah, absolutely that. And if you can give someone a bit of advice, if you can give them a kind of, why wouldn't you? But how does it take away
Precisely.
and adds to what you're doing and adds to that feeling of community and helping people out? And it's lovely to kind of hear that advice being given around the room and those stories. I think it's all part of what we're talking about when we talk about community. And then I suppose the next thing when we're talking about community is, I think we talked about this a little bit, when times get tough, community is what keeps us standing. Is there any particular time that you feel that you've benefited, and this not necessarily in a business sense, but just personally, from having people around you who could give you some good advice or can to give you a bit of reassurance? Or
I think we can all benefit from that all the time. I'll be honest, I can't think of anything specifically off the top of my head, which is terrible. I do count myself very lucky. I do keep good health in general, but I do have a fantastic family network. I do have amazing friends, and I do know that I could kind of call pretty much any of them at any time, and they would be available. They would be there. But a lot of other people are not as lucky with that, which is something I think we could all kind of keep a better eye out for in our community. And
I think from my point of view, one of the things that I would say on that is that the amount of times where we've just phoned each other up and gone on a Friday at 3:00 or something, gone, fancy a beer.
Yeah.
The importance of that is quite staggering. You know, the amount. I mean, I don't know when the last time I did that actually, because I'm so busy at the moment. But it's just that actually, the importance of that. Hint, hint, by the way. But no, it is one of them things, isn't it? It's just, you just think that getting that call at 3:00 on a Friday and going, do you know what? Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I just need to go for a pint and just let's discuss the week. Let's talk about the football at the weekend. Let's talk about nothing. Let's just say silly things and move on. But
just blow off some steam.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Just using that time is so important, and that's one of the things. I've got friends in networking like you and Nat and that have really been there for that sort of thing. And
for me too.
Yeah,
it's a lovely thing, isn't it? It's lovely to be able to do, and I keep mentioning this, but it's being kind of new to the area. It's been really important to me to have those people in my corner, and we've got that, which is lovely. It's nice because you meet people who are going through the same thing as you, and I don't think you can underestimate that. I obviously started my travel journey with a few ladies who onboarded on the same day as me, so we were all part of the same cohort. We still have a call every single week. That was in the diary as part of our training, but we've just continued it. And
that's nice.
There's nobody else who knows what I have gone through or where I am in my journey better than those women. Yeah. And it's the same concerns. It's the same kind of oh my God, I'm so quiet. where's the next customer coming from? I've made £50 commission this month. Like, what's going on? Nobody knows that better than them. And having people in your corner who know what it's like to be an entrepreneur, who know what it's like struggling.
I was just going to say that about the self-employment. Obviously, we're in our bubble of networking and talking to other people who are also self-employed. So on the face of it, from our point of view, everyone's self-employed. Yeah. They must be, because the amount of people that we're talking to, but actually, do you know what? It's a very small number.
Do we know the percentage of the country that are self-employed? But then if I can sit there, and again, if I think about my network of friends, things like that, my percentage must be a hell of a lot higher than most people.
Yeah, exactly that. I would say as well, it's been nicer for me since I started this journey, because actually knowing people who are self-employed, and we keep weird hours sometimes, and we
do, yeah.
And it can be unusual. I remember this wasn't specific to COVID, but even when I've been not working for whatever reason, it's like it's quite lonely, because you're there during the day. You've not you're not you've not got to be 9 to 5, or you're not working for whatever reason, but everyone else is. Everyone else was kind of doing their thing, and they were in their offices or whatever.
But is that perception out there of kind of like, you work for yourself? Start about 10, half 10.
No one gets
2 hour lunch. Then you knock off at 3. Like, I wish.
If my mum's listening, I apologise, but the amount of times that she's come to me and said, "When are you going to get a real job?"
Oh,
beautiful.
Thanks for that. Yeah. And but anyway, it's 13%.
Ooh.
So 1 in 8. So 1 in 8 people are.
I think it's growing. If you listen to various reports, especially with the next generation, and I think that's.
I'm not sure what that number includes as well. That might include side hustles, possibly. I don't know.
Well, I was going to say side hustles. There's plenty of people out there that have got a full-time employed position. I was going to say a real job. That would have been everybody
thanks
that
for
listens.
that.
And myself.
Yeah.
But then, is it the side hustle? Is it the program that they can kind of like work in around other hours for it there? But no, 30. I think that's definitely growing up.
Yeah. So 1 in 8 people. But there's a lot of people out there that don't understand what it is to be self-employed,
Absolutely.
and it's like yes, you do have the flexibility, and that is one of the reasons, one of the main reasons people are. Like, the freedom for me is being there for the kids and being able to do everything they need me to do. Yeah. But it also means working at 10, 11 o'clock at night, because I took them hours, so I'm going to have to give them back. Yeah. So it's, then things happen. And also being paid for not being paid for hours that you don't do because stuff needs doing, like admin and stuff like that. I don't get paid for that.
No.
It's like that's stuff that I have to do to make sure my business is working. It's not billable hours.
I'll tell you what's massively improved in recent years is speaking to banks or mortgage brokers has got so much easier because doing this kind of like, say, 14 years ago or something like that, almost going to go into these people's like, well, what do you mean you don't have a pay slip? What do you mean you don't have a contract? It's like, well, no, I'm probably not going to sack myself. I'm going to be honest. I know I'm pretty useless, but I'm not that bad.
Yeah. What's this P45? Oh, no.
That's it, yeah. Put myself on the dole and just start claiming.
Absolutely.
But it's getting there. I've had personal experience of that. It's got some way to go, but I think you're right. I think, and actually there are more specialist lenders and things like that coming up. But just recognising that it's there's going to be a growing community of people. When you think about the generation that are coming through now, they've not worked in an office, they've not had a job. So why wouldn't they try self-employment, try doing something out and striking out their own and seeing if it works for them? And
absolutely,
I'm all for it. I think the more we can encourage people to take a leap.
Nice one. Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Stuart.
Thank you very much for having me.
Just before we finish, Stuart, how can we find you again?
You can find me on LinkedIn. It's probably the best one for you. But I will also be sharing my Movember charity page, which I will be updating with photos. And yes, I will be sharing the photos of the fully shaved face as well.
Fabulous. And we'll also share that through Simply Business Club as well. So all of our pages. Lisa, how can we find you?
You can find me on socials. I'm on Instagram and Facebook under the handle Powered by Travel. And those are the best places to find me. Obviously, I'm also on LinkedIn under Lisa Power, where you can find a little bit more information on my travel business. But look up Powered by Travel, and that's where you will find me.
Thank you very much, Lisa. And if you want to find me, I'm John Turner you can find me on LinkedIn. And obviously we are Simply Business Club. So if you want any networking in Kent, then obviously there's lots of opportunities around Kent to get along to. As I said earlier, we've got Maidstone tomorrow and Deal on Friday, both breakfast meetings, both very nice breakfasts. And hopefully there'll be no #SausageGate. Sorry, Stuart.
Oh dear. No.
Oh dear.
Let's not go there.
There we go.
Let's not go there.
Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. And thanks for listening. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Business Networking Show with Linda Cloak, John Turner, and Jill Russell.